Mr. Babatunde Ogala joins us now. He's a former member of Lagos State House of Assembly. Thank you for coming on this morning.
It's my pleasure being here. Good morning.
All of these matters is interesting. I mean, he says this morning we see that he's briefed his lawyers to go to court and file a case. He seeks to clear his name, Honorable Hembe, former, on this capital market matter. But you've also have been observing this from a distance. What are your impressions?
Well, you see, with all respect to Honorable Hembe, who also incidentally is a lawyer, he knows what is said on the floor of a legislature, what is said at the committee level, which is an extension of the plenary, is privileged. So going to his lawyer, for me, is diversionary. This is a public interest matter. Look, he called Arun Auto incompetent. He called our qualifications to question. And the woman now said, what in our opinion, we're not saying it is right or wrong here. You are done wrong. Hembe had the golden opportunity in the world. Let's leave out the bribery allegation of 30-40 million. Let's leave out the 5 million. Let's leave out witch hunting. The woman said to you on air, you collected money to attend a conference in Dominican Republic. The opportunity was, yes I did, yes I did not. He evaded that, only for him to come back at plenary to say he was on his way to Dominican Republic and in Texas. He heard that the conference had almost ended. Did he not know the dates of the conference when he was collecting the extra code and the money for the tickets? And let's even say you are going from Lagos to Dominica. What is your business in Texas? And if indeed you have to pass through Texas, you know a conference was starting on the Monday. Why wait till Thursday in Texas? Only for you to now claim you called somebody. I haven't done that. You should refund the money. Look, I've been a legislator. I know the way it works. I know areas of assistance. In a public hearing, ideally, it ought not to be. But in some instances, we see it happen, especially when there are bills and an MDA is anxious to have the bill passed. They come with their own assistance.
Well, since you've been a member legislature, you know how some of these things work, because in the 6th National Assembly,
yes,
this kind of matter popped up at the
yes.
time with the Health Committee.
Yes.
Of course, sadly, Professor Grange,
yes.
well, it wasn't that matter.
Yeah.
And we've heard people say, maybe you also substantiate that
yes.
it's normal practice for
yes.
agencies to seek to assist
yes.
either the National Assembly committees
yes.
in their oversight functions.
Yes.
And so what's the hue and cry about this whole thing? Is it true?
No, like I did say, these things do happen. We know it happens. It might not be right in your oversight functions. I think it is not right that I'm probing you or the capital market or a market you regulate, and I'm calling you to come and assist. But let's even assume that is so. I think now we have gone beyond that stage. It has been established that assistance was either sought or offered. But the question then is, who sought, who offered? Daily, there are no revelations. Honorable Hembe brought the internal memo of SEC to the floor of the House. In law, you might say evidence can be procured anyway and could be tendered. It's the relevance that goes to issue. What could have been his intent?
For obtaining that document?
For obtaining the SEC documents.
To clear his name.
Who got it for him? It simply speaks volumes that there are other motives. It says there are ulterior motives. Look,
sorry, let me come in, because it's getting interesting. Because you're a lawyer, you're also a legislator, yes. And now you're getting to bring all of this. I'm coming. Maybe you put all of this into perspective now, because you're talking about the internal memo,
yes.
internal memo of SEC,
memo,
and it's bringing that. most Nigerians never thought in that direction. But again, what do you think also as a committee member, not a chairman?
Yes.
What's your role in that? For instance, you know that your chairman is veering off the whole terms of reference of that committee.
Yeah.
What should you also do?
Well, I would have thought, perhaps, you see, his members perhaps could have called him to order. But you know, it might also be difficult. It's like where we are now. There are four of us, and the whole world is watching us. Maybe I'm going off guard, or I mean, it's either you are tapping me, you don't just shut me up. I mean, that is...
We saw attempts to do that.
Exactly.
We saw, you know, someone pinching...
I mean, one of the members even attempted, after Oti had leveled her accusation, even attempted. But the chairman, well, you will sympathize with the chairman. He was sufficiently rattled. He started stuttering and stammering. He lost his total bearing. But coming back to the memo, the question I ask is, what could have been the intent in having members of staff steal? Because that's what they did.
No, but how do we verify that it was a member of staff that stole?
How else could the internal memo, please mark my words, it's not correspondence between SEC and the National Assembly. It's not correspondence between SEC and another agency. I mean, if I pick up the internal documents of channels, how else could I have gotten it? A memo from Maukwe to Chamberlain, or from Chamberlain to the managing director, and it gets into my hands. How else could I have gotten it?
What if you obtain it electronically? As opposed to the
internal memo. Then I must have hacked into your mailbox, or her mailbox, or your MD's mailbox.
It was so. Then what you're saying, it was a valid point that she raised when she said that, you know, you got document obviously from SEC, and you're not giving us a fair chance to verify those documents.
Listen, if there were no ulterior motives, if you want, I mean, I've been a member of committees, I've been the chairman of a committee. We request for documents. You request. You don't use untoward means to go and obtain documents from the agency. And even if indeed members of staff, maybe petitions, complaints, bring those things forward, if indeed they do, you confront the agency with it.
With the same documents?
Yes.
So that they can answer to that.
They can react to it. But in this instance, it's internal memo that is what I was supposedly discussing supports for your public hearing. In one breath, they had said it's SEC that was attempting to bribe. I don't know if support can be said to be bribe. It might not be right, but the monies have not even passed change hands. There was only an intent. But however, SEC has also not come up. That's why it's getting messier and dirtier by the minute, by the day. Has now come up to say there was a consultant, one Mr. Gusaya of Noteworth Consultants, who had met with us along with the deputy clerk of the committee on the 29th of February or thereabout, who had visited. And if indeed you said it was a bribe, why did you give them your needs, your list of requirements?
Which was a list?
Intent, in my view, up to a point, might have been altruistic. At least on the side of SEC, maybe genuinely wanting to support. Because if you see the support,
would you say naive as well?
By SEC?
Yes.
I've not seen anything that is naive in what they have done.
No, but if it's,
internally they were discussing it.
No, if you're genuinely trying to support,
yes,
you shouldn't have used it as an accusation then.
No, but you see, SEC has also come up to say, whether true or false, that where they held back was where the chairman now started talking about cash disbursements through the secretary of the committee. I mean, these are yet to be verified. We must say that. All these are allegations. But you see, the person who is who has the most stake is Honorable Hembe.
Why?
He is an elected representative of his constituent. He is the chairman of the committee that has oversight function. He is a lawmaker. He is a much more senior government official than an employee, which Ote is. I mean, no pun intended. He has much more at stake, and is the man on the receiving end. The woman is the one. So far, you have not said the woman did anything untoward. If they were offering you money, if they were offering you support, even the internal memo has shown that it at least was going through some process that is documented.
Tell us what you think about
bribe money. You don't document bribe money.
Tell us about what you
so how do you
think.
Okay.
Yes, sorry, because what we got yesterday from our viewer, he was so critical about it. He says the media is very biased. They should ask crucial questions about the SEC probe, number one. It is common, he says, it is common practice to write and request funds from agencies.
Yes.
The letter from SEC supports this stand, which you have already clarified that you can assist. But again, the SEC is using this as a diversionary strategy to shift attention from the issues of mismanagement.
Well, you see, I watched the 2 days of hearing. I watched the 2 days of Arunaute there. Honestly, I've not seen the allegations of mismanagement against the woman. She stayed in the hotel for 30 million for 8 months. Well, she has again reacted to 850. They didn't even get there.
No, but some members of the same agency says it was not supposed to be so.
No. But they didn't even get to that stage of questioning her on 850,000 mil. Though she has come up to say, look, the highest they ever paid on a meal in a day was the 3,400 or thereabout for an official dinner, which was charged to her room. If I host 6 people to dinner, I will also possibly, a Sheraton, for instance, don't think, you know. But again, all that is yet to be substantiated. They are just mere allegations. At the point where there was a breakdown, we had not even gotten to the brass tack of the issue of management or otherwise. They have not come up to say, oh, you circumvented the market in this way. Yes, they were talking about employing access bank staff and all that. All that still has not come to the issue of mismanagement. It is at best conflicts of interest by those persons as SEC employees or consultants. So the issue of mismanagement has not even arisen. When we got, because what led to all of this were basically personal attacks. You are not competent, go and bring your certificates.
But you know,
that is the most insulting. I would do the same. I'm a lawyer, and after 26 or thereabout years, I've proven myself. And I sit down here and Chamberlain says to me on air that, Mr. Ogala, in fact, we want to see your certificates.
And we thought,
I said that to you.
But we thought they had clearance, normally from the National Assembly even. So when you bring any kind of nominee or DG
of SEC, well, I'm not sure if DG of SEC goes through Senate screening as it were. I'm not too sure. Okay. But for crying out loud, some reputation, some qualifications speak out loud for themselves. I mean, how can somebody tell Lamido Sanusi, go and bring your certificate? So, my lady, how can I sit down here and tell you, I doubt if you went to school. I want to see your certificate.
Is it in telling them or the way it was told?
You don't, I mean, there's certain things that are taken.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to provoke me, if you say that to me, it's provocative.
Okay.
It cannot be in good faith, because I've not given you reason to doubt my education. I've not given you reason. And the woman went on and on. I mean, that was where the woman flipped. I went to the University of Nigeria. I had a first class. Went to Harvard. I started my career in Center Point. I went to ADB. I haven't gone through all that, all of that. There is a presumption that she's educated. There is a presumption.
But the Assembly has taken representative. They've taken that step. They said, okay, well, he resigned by himself, we understand. Voluntary.
Let's leave all of that. Look, if he did not resign...
You know the way it works.
Look, the motion...
So you saw it coming?
Of course. Of course. I mean, some of these guys are our ex-colleagues, friends, and people we know.
But this matter, yesterday, we had some people who said here that, listen, well, yes, we know that this has happened, unfortunately, but it's almost as though it's institutionalized in the National Assembly or with assemblies, graft. Something needs to be done about it.
Well, I think graft is just a problem of our society. It's not just...
No, I mean for lawmakers to request for funds.
Lawmakers
Lawmakers
are not more or less Nigerian than any other person. Lawmakers come from the ranks of you and I.
But would you have advised that, the public hearing be done on the capital market, be done in the open?
Honestly, I mean...
Would you advise a public hearing, I think?
Public hearings, that's why they are public.
Yes.
I mean, TV coverage is what you call open. It is public. And hearings, even the...
That's why I rephrased the
business
question.
Of the House is supposed to be open.
Yeah, sorry, sir.
So if you say it's a public hearing...
No, sir.
You cannot, yes.
That's why I rephrased the question, saying, should it have been made public? I mean, should it have been a public hearing in the very first
There's
place?
absolutely nothing wrong in making it public. Absolutely nothing wrong in my view.
Because experts, but pundits have said that, that had the capability to drown the market rather than lift it up.
Well, the school of thought has said that. But here we are looking at the capital market. What went wrong? Who did what? What they are going to do? Their report. It's a different cup of tea.
Have we started asking those questions?
These people are coming to make submissions. But what did the committee do? Rather than doing an investigation or a probe, because I would rather call it investigative or not a probe really. It was an investigation. The committee or the chairman, whether consciously or unconsciously, lost track of his brief and went on a probe of SEC, or purportedly so. That was the way I understood what was playing out. Because what is the issue of your stay in the hotel, your meals, your qualifications, your competence? Competence, yes, if you are probing a regulator. But not when you now start going into internal workings. I mean, and that was where it began to look like it was a vendetta.
What about the conduct? I mean, the language and
of the chairman?
Yes.
No, I think that was reprehensible. I mean, even if you had issues, look, we are all human. We are human. I've been chairman of committees. I've been a member of committees. Even when you could be more decent about the way you go about this business. You could show more respect. A situation where the chairman is putting it to you. And the woman is reacting and you are saying, no, I'm putting it to you. You are not supposed to
How does it work in the courts?
You are supposed to listen, collect, ask questions, seek clarifications.
I mean, because it's a lawyer.
Not prosecute. That is the fact that he's a lawyer made it even more embarrassing for me. Because he ought to know better.
But you put it to people sometimes yourself.
The judges do not put it to people. The prosecutor.
So in this case, they were both, weren't they both the prosecutor and the judge?
Yes.
I mean, when you're probing, when you're doing an investigation,
you ask questions.
In that case,
you do not antagonize. He was too antagonistic.
The House has since
taken
away that committee.
Yeah, taken away the committee. Because somebody said he resigned as chairman of the committee.
Yeah, he did. That's what we understand.
No, he did not resign as chairman.
But that's what the House told us.
He did not resign as chairman of the committee.
But for this,
excused itself from. But you see, of course, that was, I must commend the speaker for and the leadership of the House for that. I mean, they had to preempt all of that, and it was just about giving him soft landing.
What about SEC? What should they be doing now in the light of what's going on?
Well, SEC will wait for the. Well, you see, the
some
dilemma,
allegations too.
The dilemma I have here is how credible can even subsequent, continue with this investigation, I don't want to call it probe, by the House of Rep can be.
Why not?
Because MB has unfortunately, MB and his committee members, tarred everybody.
You put them in a tight corner.
Put everybody in a tight corner. That has been the issue of the deputy speaker on UK.
They are just mere allegations. No,
they are mere
substantiated.
But the way MB went about it, and like I said, I must commend the maturity of Tambuwal and the leadership. Because even from what MB read out, and the motion that the chief whip, it was obvious it was not a spontaneous thing on the floor.
That's how you all do in politics.
It was well choreographed and it had been settled. That we must commend The speaker for that, I didn't even leave it to discussion. Because if we came to discussion on the floor, it could turn out to something else.
Okay. Just one question. This is away from the probe. Yeah. Quickly. You know, you are a member of the Lagos State House of Assembly. But what's going on now with the speaker in the eye of the storm? Do you think he should step aside?
It's all other. If I think, well, the speaker is presumed innocent
until proven guilty.
Proven otherwise.
Yeah, but the same thing with him.
He's proven innocent. Like in this case, I mean, there are two different things. The allegation here is about him being biased.
No, being accused of taking bribe.
Yes, there are two allegations. Alleged to have the mandate and bias against SEC, as it were. So the issues, in my view, are different. And for the Speaker of Lagos State Assembly, there's a presumption of innocence until proven otherwise. The issue is, money laundering, as they call it. And it is also largely up to his colleagues to say we either have confidence in him or we do not have confidence in him.
Well, the issue of his honor.
That is a personal thing to him.
Okay.
I mean, the way I approach it might not be the way he perceives it, but it is about his colleagues to decide whether he should excuse them for a while he sorts himself out, or he should continue to lead them.